So I had this day today. I'm annoyed because the messiness. People are messy without God. Let me just tell you. I know I'm messy without God because guess what? Without God, there's no order. So you're just going to be messy. And I'm not talking about in the human sense. Um, but, this girl the other day, she was talking about how the manager keeps talking about her and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, people reap what they sow. So she's upset that the manager's gossiping about her. And today, she literally spent the whole day gossiping about me. Like, people speak in code and they speak in metaphors and that kind of stuff. But I was picking up on her talking about me because I got ears to hear, okay? And, the funny thing about gossip is if people are especially doing it around you or they hear that you're gossiping about them, it's going to draw a division between people, and then the atmosphere is going to be low, and you can even feel the guilt on people when they are doing it because subconsciously they know they're doing something wrong and God is condemning them at that time. So there was a guy that she was kind of talking about me with, which I don't know if he was really talking about me, but because of her talking about me, he didn't really want anything to do with me. And I'm like, well, this is weird. Like, because I've really been trying to meditate on this whole gossip thing. But I've seen this before, and to me it's no different than the media and like propaganda and that kind of stuff, where the media will tell you one story because they want to sway your mind in this direction, and you don't know any different because you're not comparing sources and that kind of thing. And so he wasn't. I noticed like he stopped talking to me or like acknowledging me within an hour, because within the hour that's when she was talking crap. And so I was like, this is weird, like, and this is not the way it should be. Like, there shouldn't be a divide between me and you, and I don't know you because of what somebody else is saying about me. You should observe for yourself or ask me yourself and see what's going on. But that didn't go on. She just kept talking crap and he kept trying to give her understanding or whatever the deal is. And so at the end of the night, I pretended like I was on my phone, and because yesterday I had confronted this woman about gossiping at Walmart. I don't know where it came from. I just know her and her coworker were talking about someone in front of myself and another customer, and I'm like, number one, this is unprofessional. Don't be talking all this gossip in front of people. Number two, don't gossip about people. If you go tell her to her face, do that. Why don't you do that? And so I told her that she didn't want anyone gossiping about her. You shouldn't do that. She tried to talk over me, and then at the end, I was basically just like, please don't gossip about people. And then I walked away. Because these serpents, they don't want to hear the truth, all right? But this dude, I think he knew, and I could tell by his body language, like, he was getting uncomfortable with doing it. I think his conscience was convicting him in some kind of way. And so you could kind of see the guilt. Like, he didn't want to make eye contact and that kind of thing because he knew what he was doing was wrong, or at least the situation was wrong. And so at the end of the night, I'm talking about this woman at Walmart, and then I start like elaborating, like acting like I'm talking on the phone in front of him, and they both start to get uncomfortable, you can tell, and then they both start to walk faster, and I'm like, yeah, and the lady, she was gossiping and she was running. You want to know why? Because she knew what she was doing was wrong, and so she was trying to get out the situation. And the other person, they're just doing it, and the other person's innocent, and they didn't even do anything to him. And so he started to like walk really fast and like got out of there super quickly, as that's that conscience. Their conscience was kicking in. But it didn't feel right initially doing it. You should be able to confront people to their face. You shouldn't be able to do that. But at the end of the day, I don't think I could have said something politely at that time. And so I went about that way of doing it. So I don't feel entirely bad. I hope they learn their lesson a bit. But, I think when you're without God, again, like, there's no order in your life, and you don't understand. And like I was trying to tell them in my fake conversation, this is why a lot of people have depression and anxiety, because they do things that are wrong and they reap what they sow. So, but this is the case. Like, this has been my whole life growing up. Like, people nonstop have talked about me. It's almost like that saying, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You can be the best worker in the building and people will find a way to trash you. You can be the worst worker in the building and they will find a way to trash you. So at the end of the day, to me, it's like a Cain and Abel thing. It's understandable if you're not doing well, they will want to trash you. But the fact is, it was my second day. No one was really teaching me how to do anything. And then, I don't know, like, I was trying to do things. But I think the problem is some people have a problem with appreciation and gratitude. So, yeah. But the other guy was a really, really good worker, and he learned. the first day, I guess. And so she expected me to be like him. I don't really know. I don't really do a lot of fast food stuff at all. Like if I work, I'm usually doing event serving or prep cooking. So, this isn't really my realm. But it was like she couldn't really understand that. And I'm like, I said something about the woman at Walmart. Like, you're just working at Walmart. It's not like anything special. Because I'm like, you're just working at Subway. Like, it's not anything special. You don't need to go ham. But that's how it was being portrayed. And, the funny thing about it is she kept reminding me of someone. And then I realized she reminded me of someone from my summer camp. And it's like, me and that girl, we never got along. Or, like, she didn't get along with me. I've always been fine with everybody. Like, I've never really had an issue with anyone. It's always the other person having an issue with me. And so it was interesting because it made me realize the same spirit that was on her. She's a gossip. She probably thinks that she's better than other people to some kind of extent, or smarter than other people, because she was cleverly getting away with talking crap about me right in front of my face and in metaphors and that kind of stuff. So this is people that are wise in their own minds or wise in their own eyes type deal. And they're often doing shit behind closed doors, but people look at them on the surface as, they're doing the right thing. And so with this girl at camp, it was like the same thing. Like, she was always gossiping about people, acted like a goody two-shoes on camera, but off camera she was sneaking around with guys in the woods. So it's just kind of funny. It just made me realize, oh, this is why we didn't resonate, because that's just not who I am. That's not my spirit. So I'm trying to do things right on camera and right off camera. Like, that's just who I am. Because the thing is, if you don't do things right off camera, it's going to catch up with you. Your evil will be exposed. So some people, they're too smart for their own good, and so they end up burying themselves. But anyway, lesson learned. The whole gossip thing, I see why it splits people up. It does cause a division because the whole environment was just like sunken during that time, and people acted like they couldn't talk to one another because they just got done talking crap about that person. Like, you're doing it to yourself. But anyway, interesting times. Gotta go. Bye.